The following program is made possible in part by the American Legion Auxiliary, Department of Arizona, and the West Valley Foundation, celebrating diversity. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jesus Hernandez. This is the Veterans Business Journey, where we celebrate the achievements of veterans. In this edition, we shine a light on an organization helping veterans when there's nowhere else to turn to. We acknowledge the efforts of a combat Marine veteran mentoring at-risk youth. A local American Legion post challenges high school ROTC cadets, and some veterans share with us some words of encouragement. Those stories and more in this edition of the Veterans Business Journey. During this time of the year, there are many individuals and organizations providing veterans the services and resources they need. But there are times when veterans need assistance that's not provided by government agencies. That's when the Veterans Medical Leadership Council steps in to help. That's our spotlight story on this edition of the Veterans Business Journey. During 2016, the Veterans Medical Leadership Council provided $230,000 to help 900 veterans and their families. At the organization's 15th annual Heroes Patriotic Luncheon, veterans were honored and thanked for their service. They also acknowledged the sponsors for their support. Through the Veterans Medical Leadership Council Returning Warriors program, the organization continues to work with the VA Medical Center caseworkers to assist those proud veterans in need.
Our focus is primarily, from a financial standpoint, coming alongside of them to kind of get them over the hump. Working with the VA Medical Center, it was noted that many of those needed assistance.
Well, I joined the VMLC Council because nearly every penny that's raised goes right back into supporting veterans programs, whether it be supporting patients that are referred to VMLC through the VA, or whether it's residents at the state veterans home or other residents that we find in the community that are of need.
The VMLC stepped into my life at a time where I needed some work on my car. I didn't have a couple $1,000s to drop into fixing my car. The VMLC saved me as far as getting my car operable again and allowing me to work.
We've worked with the VMLC now for several years. They've been able to give us resources that we could use, from pain and infection control to deal with immediate issues, to extractions, to this dental care. It allows them to be hopeful about tomorrow. Support from the VMLC has helped make that happen. And so the VMLC has been just absolutely a valued partner in doing this.
Every year we celebrate veterans and hold a luncheon in their honor. And we have a large group of volunteers that participate in planning and executing the luncheon. The purpose of the luncheon is to honor the veterans, to give the community an opportunity to honor the veterans.
Compliments of VMLC were able to stop people from being evicted from apartments, from losing their homes, from having their electricity shut off. Oftentimes in less than 24 hours, that bill is getting paid for on behalf of the veteran. The amount of relief that I see on our veterans' face when when one of us is able to say to them, okay, we got this covered for you, VMLC is going to step in and pay this bill for you. I've had people in our offices crying. They were so relieved.
VMLC has provided us the technology to video chatting with their family, which is really beneficial for a lot of our veterans who have family out of state. The support that VMLC is providing us has really changed our veterans' lives.
I don't think there's an organization that does it better than the VMLC. They're organized, they're dedicated, and the people there really have a heart for these men and women. And so I wanted to attach myself to a group that was that responsible and that responsive to the needs of the veterans.
When I think about the VMLC, it is making sure that they're not forgotten as they go through the transition from being on the active duty, coming home to Arizona, and being taken care of by their friends and neighbors.
I thank my stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
Maricopa is home for more than 300,000 veterans. Jesse Simpson is a Marine veteran. Life as a youngster for him was a tough journey. Many wrote him off as a troubled youth heading in the wrong direction. But what they didn't know is that his rebel spirit would change his life and help at-risk youth. Jesse Simpson is a combat Marine veteran and fireman. Recently, he was named Fireman of the Year in Mesa. Simpson has spent the last few years focusing on his education, career, and developing an organization to help veterans and at-risk youth. There was a time in his life when family and friends saw him as a lost cause with little or no chance of succeeding in life.
I got in a lot of fights, was in and out of in school and out of school suspension. I cussed at teachers, skipped school. I did any and everything that got me in trouble at that age.
In 2001, the day America was attacked, Simpson says it caused him to look at life differently, and he began a new journey.
I remember sitting in Miss Reekin's reading class at Brody Middle School in Des Moines, Iowa, when the Twin Towers fell down. Seeing the country come together and seeing all the events that unfolded after that is what prompted me and drove me to really have my first goal, and that was to become a Marine, and then my second goal to become a firefighter.
Simpson joined the Marines in 2007. He was an infantry machine gunner. He became a squad leader and was promoted twice because of his leadership skills. He says he had a purpose in life and enjoyed traveling. But when he made the transition to civilian life, he says he felt lost, alone, unsatisfied.
Myself, and I think there are thousands of veterans can relate, you miss the purpose-driven life, you miss the structure, you miss the camaraderie, you miss being with your brothers, your sisters, people that are willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good.
Simpson rediscovered himself physically, emotionally. He earned a bachelor's degree from Arizona State University. He landed his dream job as a firefighter. He traveled to Lima, Peru to help underprivileged kids. That experience, he says, helped him realize he could do more with his life.
On the way back, after 2 weeks spending with those kids, it was clear that they had helped me. They changed me, and that's what I'm trying to bring to the rest of the world, to my veteran brothers and sisters, so we can provide all of our leadership skills, all the things, the lessons learned we learned in our time in the military. We can provide those and share that knowledge with our youth.
Simpson has launched a nonprofit organization, Calm, Fit, and Complete, with the goal of developing a leadership resiliency training program for veterans to help mentor at-risk youth.
I had a hard time growing up, and there's millions of kids throughout the country that are having a hard time growing up, whether they know it or not. They don't have a dad, they don't have a mom, they don't have someone positive in their life to look up to. And there's nothing in my mind worse than giving up on a child when he has his whole life ahead of him.
Simpson is driven by the belief that all at-risk youth need is an opportunity to see a different world, and what veterans need is an opportunity to put their military experience to use in a positive way.
They should stand up and get out in the community, get involved. They should take care of their physical health. They should become the leaders that they're destined to be, using the experiences and the skills and all that sort of stuff that they learned in the military. Hi, my name is Jesse Simpson. I'm a Marine Corps combat veteran serving in Afghanistan throughout Southeast Asia. Proud to be a Marine, I'm proud to be a veteran, and I'm proud to be an American.
The SBA considers veterans one of the most successful group of business owners in America. Here's some numbers from the Veterans Administration that supports that claim. Veterans represent 6% of the total U.S. population, but account for 13.5% or 3.7 million of all small businesses in the United States. These businesses employ 5.8 million Americans, pay wages in excess of $210 billion, and contribute $1.7 trillion to the U.S. GDP, or gross domestic product. Veteran-owned businesses help fuel the U.S. economy.
My name is Yolanda Bonilla. I am the president of the American Legion Auxiliary here in Arizona. I'm serving for the year 2017-2018. Our mission is to support the American Legion by honoring the sacrifice of those who serve, by enhancing the lives of our veterans, military, and their families, both at home and abroad. We advocate for veterans, educate our citizens, mentor youth, promote good citizenship, Americanism, peace, and security.
Welcome back. I'm Jesus Hernandez. As we celebrate the achievements of our veterans, we must not forget their efforts to help youth succeed in life. As part of that effort, members of the American Legion Post 41 have created an annual high school ROTC leadership competition. Retired Air National Guard Colonel Dr. Louis Olivas sees the value of challenging the young cadets.
Growing up and going to high school, finishing in high school, and all the other high schools, we had ROTC program, but we never saw ourselves there as Latinos. It's amazing of what has transpired since I was in high school. The majority are now Latina and Latinos, cadets in the ROTC programs. It teaches them about leadership, about respect, about responsibility, and the importance of furthering their career by going to college. It's not about recruiting students to services, military services. Less than 25% will pursue a military career, for example, or join the armed forces. What makes our competition, we call it a leadership challenge, is aside from drilling and marching, we have a fitness competition. Number of pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, and a 50-foot shuttle run. Competition. The third component, what makes us different, and no one else does this across the country, is we have an academic quiz. The history of the flag, the history of presidents, and other leadership questions that they should know, such as who is your commander-in-chief? How many counties are there in the state of Arizona? When did Arizona become a state? So it's type of a civics quiz that was developed by Frank Diaz. And so in order to compete in our event, you must compete in all three. And then, depending on the points that you receive in each of the three events, determines whether or not you're third place, second place, or first place winner by team. And the winning teams, what we call the sweepstakes, are first, second, and third. First place gets $1,500, a check written to their school, to their ROTC program. Second place is $1,000. Third place is $500. That's only possible thanks to the generosity and the sponsors that participate in our event. See the value of what's going on with these youth, see the value of coming together, and it's a way of showcasing the service that this post provides to our community. And by the way, this is a statewide competition, so it's not just about Phoenix, it's about Arizona. We had 2 teams from Tucson, we had 1 team from Mojave, and a total of 10 teams. Fantastic opportunity. All the volunteers were judges that are veterans. And if you look at the entire turnout, close to 250 people, one example of what this post is doing for the community, an appreciation for youth, an appreciation for who they are, and showing them an example of what they can become. Because we have a lot of successful veterans in this post, former business owners, they're retired from banks, sheet metal workers, tradesmen, and they take pride in what they've accomplished. So it's good for the youth to say, you have a future. you too can be a leader of this community and give back. So that's why we do this ROTC competition. This is the second annual, and we're planning next year as the third annual event. But more importantly, it was since that the veterans connected with the youth and the youth connected with the veterans. And the message to the youth was this: we value who you are, we value what you're doing. Keep up the good work. You'll be a better person and a better student. That was clear and that was evident. That was the takeaway.
Thanks, Post 41!
As we continue to celebrate the achievements of our veterans, it's important to take a moment to recognize the efforts of many individuals and organizations who pay tribute on Veterans Day to the men and women who help preserve the liberties we enjoy.
From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Old Glory, our symbol of hope and freedom, was proudly on display on Veterans Day. It was our day to honor those men and women who proudly served and fought in wars to make sure Old Glory continues to reflect the pride and courage of Americans across the United States.
Thank my lucky stars to be living here today. The flag still stands for freedom, and you can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. Gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
This is a tremendous day to pay tribute to the courageous men and women of our armed forces. From the birth of our country through many generations, our brave fighting forces gave up the comforts of home to step forward and answer the call to duty. Because they chose to rise to the call, we are here today, enjoying the life of freedom that their sacrifice bought for us.
During this Veterans Day celebration at the Rio Vista Community Park, the city of Peoria unveiled its expanded Arizona Veterans Memorial Wall and Reflection Area. It's an effort by the city to pay tribute to the past, present, and future veterans and their families for their sacrifice.
I hope that this memorial offers a new place that affirms your love for America and serves as a small token of our city's gratitude, respect, and admiration for your dedicated service.
This day is a solemn day to me because of the brothers and sisters who did not come home from not only the war that I served in, but for all the wars since my time of service.
My name, again, is Norman Palmer. I served in the United States Merchant Marine, and I was very proud to have done it. My mother didn't think too much of my choice or the fact that I enlisted. She only wanted me to wait. But it was a very interesting 3.5 years for me. Emotionally, growing up, maturing, aging, you name it, I went through it.
The newly dedicated Peoria, Arizona Veterans Memorial is an 88-foot-long black wall that recognizes all 5 branches of the armed forces. It also includes an honor wall for current veterans.
I spent 16 years Army and then went in the Air Force Reserves for another 10, and so I had 26 total. I think that the military should be on the draft. In other words, individuals who get to the age of 18 should go in the military, or when they finish high school, go in the military and serve 2 years of service. It wakes people up, it makes them feel as if they have accomplished something and therefore want to achieve better things when they get out.
Peoria's Arizona Veterans Memorial also includes a new Huey helicopter exhibit. The Huey was considered the workhorse during the Vietnam War. The Army UH-1 Huey recorded more than 7 million flight hours during the Vietnam War between October 1966 and 1975. The achievements of our veterans are many. Dante Fierros is an Air Force veteran who flew missions across Vietnam, not in a Huey. Nowadays, his mission is keeping his manufacturing business running efficiently. The foundation of Dante Fierro's journey as a soldier in the Air Force is based on a strong family philosophy of discipline, work ethic, and teamwork. Fierro remembers his father reinforcing the value of an education by having the family work in the plum orchards of Sacramento.
Got on a truck with everybody else. We were assigned a number, my family, mom and dad, my brother and I, and a tent. And there was a little stove out front, and every day before sunup we'd get up and get in on that big truck, and we were taken out to fields, and we picked plums all day till it's sundown, and then we came back, and there was I remember this old can with water and holes in the bottom that we used for a shower. And
Dante Fierro treasures those childhood memories and admits his father's tough love lessons worked. Dante graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree. Soon after graduating back in the late 60s, Fierro says he was trying to land a job with the Xerox Corporation when they asked him to check his draft status. He found out his number would soon be called.
This was in '67. The Vietnam War was going, full force, and so they said, check your draft status. And I went to Pasadena, California, checked my draft. They said, young man, you're going to be drafted in 2 weeks. So I went back to Xerox. They said, well, don't worry, when you get out, we'll have a job for you. So I went and I joined the Air Force. My father was in the Army Air Corps in World War II. So I had a desire to get into the Air Force as opposed to the Marines or the Navy. It's just a family tradition. So I joined the Air Force, and I asked the recruiting sergeant what kinds of jobs I could get. And I told him of my degree, and he kind of smiled and he said, well, we really just need pilots and navigators. And I said, okay, well, I'll try to be a pilot.
Dante became a pilot and attained the rank of major during his 10 years in the United States Air Force. During that period, he flew a number of missions in Vietnam.
I didn't count the missions. It was many hours. I flew different aircraft, but I first started out with KC-135s, which are air refuelers. So we flew around the north side of Vietnam and refueled aircraft from Da Nang and Saigon and places like that. So that was kind of exciting because we didn't have any kind of defensive systems. We just were a flying gas tank.
After his journey in the Air Force, Dante Fierro has worked for a number of aerospace corporations like Hughes Aircraft, Allied Signal Corporation, General Dynamics, the Department of Defense, and others. His decades of experience have served him well. Fierro's is now proud owner of Nicholas Precision in Tempe, Arizona. It's a manufacturing firm that has developed some impressive hardware for the aerospace industry.
And a lot of these products, we're not told what they actually go on, but one we do know is that we made a product that goes into a communication or electronic box that moves the arm up and down on the Mars Land Rover. Now that's pretty historic, that here in Tempe we made a part that's on Mars. We have parts that go on F-16 fighter aircraft that allows the canopy to be blown off so that the pilot can eject safely. We have components that allow the space shuttle to separate correctly from the tanks, those components that are very, very important and critical. Other products that allow a trooper to fire a weapon safely. This is a trigger safety assembly for a missile.
Air Force veteran Dante Fierros has garnered some impressive credentials in the aerospace and manufacturing industry. He credits much of his success to his parents and his military experience.
My name is Dante Fierros, and I am president and owner of Nichols Precision here in Tempe, Arizona. I am a U.S. Air Force pilot, and I was very proud to serve in the Air Force.
Up next on the Veterans Business Journey, some words of encouragement from some veterans.
My name is Yolanda Bonilla. I am the president of the American Legion Auxiliary here in Arizona. I'm serving for the year 2017-2018. Our mission is to support the American Legion by honoring the sacrifice of those who serve, by enhancing the lives of our veterans, military, and their families, both at home and abroad. We advocate for veterans, educate our citizens, mentor youth, promote good citizenship, Americanism, peace, and security.
Welcome back. This is the Veterans Business Journey. I'm Jesus Hernandez. We thought it'd be helpful to share with you some words of encouragement from veterans who have overcome some challenges and have succeeded in their professional endeavors.
My words of encouragement to a veteran, first of all, you must realize what you have to offer. It is tremendous, and it's becoming more and more important every day, and that's your work ethic.
Well, I think that to be successful, it's really important to be passionate about what you're doing. So to believe in what you're doing, and to, like they talk about, you know, it's not just a job. It's not just about making money. It's about doing something that you truly like to do and believe in.
Definitely don't try to do it on your own. Do seek the support of others, because other people will provide you with input and resources, and when you're working with the law of attraction, it's very powerful to let others know what you're doing.
With a good work ethic, with an education, there's no telling where you can end up. But the end result is not a monetary success, it's a success of happiness. It's success that you contributed to our society, that you contributed to your family, and that you're happy.
The Veterans Business Journey is about honoring our veterans and celebrating their journey in life. We'd be honored if you drop us a note. Our email address is vetsbizjourney@gmail.com. Be sure to stay tuned to this channel for the next edition of the Veterans Business Journey. I'm Jesus Hernandez, a proud Vietnam veteran. This program was made possible in part by the American Legion Auxiliary, Department of Arizona, and the West Valley Foundation, celebrating diversity.